Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bastion YGO here, and today guys, I'm coming at you with a really fun, really cool virtual world deck profile for the current format starting January 2023, which is not only going to be a virtual world deck profile, guys. I mean, yes, it is going to be a virtual deck profile, but it is also going to be the deck profile for the best counter anti-meta deck moving forward in this very same format that we're currently, this tier 0 format. This counters everything. This counters everything. Now, I'm gonna show you this right now. So virtual world, it's okay. Let me restart. So, right, so what are the best most impressive cards going on right now? Probably gonna be the Bestial cards, the Shizu cards, right? The tier element deck overall. Fluangeries is a pain in the ass. All of these things, guys, what do they have in common is that none of them really affect virtual world whatsoever. Bestial cards, you need a dark or a light. Virtual worlds are wind and they are earth, as I am showing you guys right now. They are wind or they are earth, so they does not get affected pretty much at all by Bestials, which is really nice. But we do not play Bestials in here only because we do not play dark or lights in the main deck either, so they become less of a consistency factor for our deck as well. Now, for the virtual strategy, it does also play cards like Virtual World Tension, which is a pretty much a walking macrocosmos that you can constantly keep summoning back for free each and every single turn, no problem. Essentially, all you gotta do is banish specific cards, which then you shuffle back into your deck with Chuchi. So Virtual World is a definitely must of sleeper deck for the current format, guys. If you guys have actually not looked at virtual whatsoever, I think you're actually tripping. I think you are slipping, and I think you need to go ahead and look through your book, because all these cards are like 2 cents. Now, this might be just a little bit of copium, guys, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below after this video. I do want to do a test hand video for this as well, so if that's something you guys want to see, make sure you leave a like and let me know down below. But without further ado, guys, go ahead and subscribe for more, and let's get right into this profile. Alright, guys, starting off very simple. We're going to start off with the monsters. 3 copies of Lulu. We're going to play 3 copies of Gigi, 3 copies of Lao Lao, 3 copies of Lily, 2 copies of Nyan Nyan, and 1 copy of Tutu. So, starting things off, guys, pretty standard as far as maximizing out on all of your virtual world monsters, except for Nyan Nyan and Tutu. Now, you can play a third Nyan Nyan if you don't want to play the Tutu, but I do feel like her recursion comes up as well. You can also discard cards like Cyframe Gamma, special summon the Tutu, which is nice, and it doesn't come back in a hindrance of ways, so it is nice to have that little bit of diversity as far as what I feel. I know some people don't necessarily like playing 3 Lao Lao. I definitely think it's a must play 3 Lao Lao and 3 Lily as well. To have that, you always want to have, you see, the issue with Virtual World is that it's essentially been dubbed as the brickiest deck in current Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, of course, the of all time is definitely still going to have to go to Domain Monarch, so let's slow down there. But Virtual World does have a habit of bricking because you're unable to have a Virtual World on board, Virtual World card on board, in order to be able to combo off. But this, being able to maximize out on as many special summonable names and normal summonable names as possible, really helps out the overall consistency of the deck. So it's going to be it for the Virtual World monsters. Now on for the rest of the monsters, we play 3 copies of Cyframe Gamma and 1 copy of Driver. Really the only hand trap you need, as it is the best hand trap ever printed. The only reason why it's not more popular right now is that it is not the most versatile, but as far as overall effectiveness, it negates, destroys, gets rid of the issue, and gives you 2 free bodies on board, which this deck can go ahead and use in order to go into cards like Cyframe Lord Omega or things like that. So really good to be able to go ahead and have this, guys. So that's gonna be it for the monster lineup, guys. This is a 40 card deck, if not maybe 41. No, it's a 40 card deck, but that's gonna be it for the monsters. Now on to the spells. So for your spells, guys, we played 3 copies of King Long, 3 copies of Kowloon. Any less than this is just a mistake, because King Long, what it does is you can banish from your graveyard, discard a card afterwards, but then you get to go ahead and search whatever virtual monster you want, and Kowloon gets to activate from deck any virtual world card as well, as far as a spell or a trap. So really good to be able to get your Chuchi out on board turn 1 in order to start to be able to pop your opponent's cards right off the bat. So really good to have that as well. Now we did just get brand new virtual world support as well profile announced as I was building this deck. So it is exciting, and we are going to be getting most likely some new Virtual World Gate cards. So that's exciting to go ahead and see what Konami has in store for us. So I'll definitely be uploading a updated Virtual World deck profile once those cards are officially announced, probably on YGO Pro, and then when the cards physically come out in IRL Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because I really like the whole Virtual World strategy overall. Next, we play 2 copies of Pot of Desires. This card needs to go back to 3. We have 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents, 3 copies of Emergency Teleport as well. And these are all going to be for consistency, guys. I mean, essentially, none of these clash with one another. Yeah, sometimes if Desires banishes like your E-Telly, but that's not really like a clash, right? So E-Telly, a lot of your cards you're going to be playing are level 3 or lower sidekicks. You can even sub in Gamma for free as well, which is really nice if you want to go into a hard Omega type plays. Triple Tactics Talent is a must-have in any deck you are playing right now because it is such a monster-heavy format as of time recording this video in January 2023 now. Wow. Time flies, and we are now in a brand new year, guys. Absolutely crazy, but 2 Desires, 3 Tactics, 3 E-Telly, and then the final spell, we play 1 copies of Metal Foes Fusion. I've always been a big fan of playing Metal Foes Fusion in this deck. I actually used to play cards like Foolish Burial Goods because they are essentially all upstart goblins at that point. So I actually really liked it, but I ended up dropping it a little while ago because of my luck. Every time I would activate Metal Foes Fusion, I would draw Metal Foes Fusion, which is not the worst thing in the world because you do get additional discard as well. So you can discard this and then go ahead and activate it next turn also. So it is nice to have that way you're always consistently having +1s in your deck. So I love Metal Foes Fusion. Any deck that mills or sends cards to the graveyard, actually Tier Lament, you need to get on that as well. Just gonna throw that out there. It's a free draw 1. Next up for the traps, guys, we played 2 copies of Chu-Chi, 1 copy of Zhang Wu. That has not changed. That will not change as far as the overall strategy is concerned. You need 2 and 1, or at least that will not change while we still have only these as our only Virtual World Gate cards. And for the last 3 cards in the main deck, guys, we played 3 copies of Skill Drain. Yes, this one's in Korean. I'm working on getting my other one in English. I know it was reprinted in the Dark World Structure deck. I understand it's a common now. But anyway, so we have our 3 Skill Drains, which this deck actually runs extremely well. A lot of people prefer to play like other hand traps, whether it be Ash Blossom, DD Crow, maybe Bestial cards, or even Imperm, which are really viable options, don't get me wrong. But Skill Drain just works so well. It completely obliterates decks like Sprites. It destroys Fluanderies. It hinders Tier Element Ishizu quite a bit as well. And the fact that everything in Virtual World just activates in your hand, and then you can just focus on making really big monsters. So you should be good to go from there, guys. But I honestly really like Skill Drain Virtual World. I think it's a lot of fun, because people don't really see it coming. So in a lot of rogue matchups, Sword Soul is still doing very well. This just absolutely annihilates the entire deck. So it really is nice to go ahead and have. And that's going to be it for our 40 card main deck, guys. I think this is the most consistent build of Virtual World there is out there at the moment. That is my personal opinion. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. But before you do, let's get right into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we play 1 Phantom Knights of Breaksword. Being able to pop your own King Long and pop a card your opponent controls is really good. 1 M7 to recycle, 1 Utopia Beyond to be able to deal massive damage. 1 Fan, 1 Downerd, and 1 Zeus Sky Thunder. I think it's pretty standard for the most part. Some people like playing Fortune Tune, but being able to pop cards your opponent controls and you control can be really beneficial. Plus, you really only need 1 rank 3 in order to play this deck. Rank 6s are really going to be where your real powerhouse stuff is. So that's going to be it for the XCs, guys. Next for the other fusions, not fusions, synchros, we play 1 Stardust Charged Warrior, 1 Coral Dragon, 1 Muddy Mud Dragon. Whoa, what is that for? You'll see in just a second. 1 Ultimaya Zulkin, 1 Omega, 1 Shenshen, 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and then 1 copy of Vermilion Dragon Mech. So this is relatively standard when it comes to Virtual World, except Muddy Mud Dragon. So Muddy Mud Dragon is a really funny card that says it can be used to substitute for any fusion material. So with Muddy Mud Dragon, and Ultimate Zulkin. It's funny because both of these can be actually used to make your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which is it used to be pretty common in Virtual back in the day, but I think now more than ever, Dragoon might be one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! To go ahead and play, because no one plays Red Eyes Fusion, no one plays Predator Plant Birthday Anaconda anymore. So the only thing you're not getting a benefit of Dragoon is its pop effect, but it still gets to negate cards in the field by discarding, which Virtual World does not care about discarding, because the more you discard, the more you plan out your discards, the better essentially you might be able to go ahead and do if you're able to discard the proper resources for you as well. So I actually very much love the Dragoon version of this build. Now, if I know I'm going up against Tier Limit Ishizu, then I'll prioritize making the Shenshin instead. But any other deck, I'm definitely making Dragoon. Is untargetable. It is just a powerhouse of a card, and it can get huge as well. So I actually love Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Being able to play it again in this deck is so satisfying as well. We play the 1 Omega for the side frame package. The Vermilion Mech is still really good. Crystal Wing, of course, with the Zulkin play. The consistency of this deck is just off the charts, man. Actually, so crazy. So that is actually going to be it for the Virtual World deck, guys. I've actually been loving this deck, just being able to have fun with Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. And that's the issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! I think in the current moment is that it's become very tier 0 oriented, where if you're not playing tier 0, you're not going to win, things like that. And it's taken a lot of the fun personally out of the game for me, but being able to play, you know, to come up playing with a like Virtual World deck and just being able to have actual fun with Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, it's just become a lot better. Just overall for the game, just being able to play different decks, variety is essentially what I'm trying to get at, is that if Yu-Gi-Oh! Loses its variety and ability for people to play whack decks like Dark Magician and Blue Eyes and or Utopia and have fun with it, and that's what I think is going to be coming up with this upcoming format. It's not necessarily right now it's a little bit slow, as you guys may have seen from my community post that I posted earlier last month, but I think overall Yu-Gi-Oh! Will be in a very healthy spot very soon after the Kashtira decks come out, Kashtira cards come out I should say, because by then we'll most likely be having a second ban list. Kashtira, while being really good, has some weaknesses of itself as well, and we'll also be getting some really cool Galaxy Eyes support, guys, so definitely stay tuned if you guys want to see the Galaxy Eyes deck profile I have cooked up. Subscribe down below and I'll get that out for you guys as soon as possible. But without further ado, if you guys stick around, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much, appreciate each and every single one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.